Do you think things can't possibly get any worse for the Commanders? Well, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you might just knock the wind right out of you. We've got our franchise quarterback hurt, and no one knows when that hamstring will heal. An $18 million corner playing like the ball's a foreign object, and right in the middle of all this chaos. A rookie is straight up stealing the spotlight while our playoff hopes crumble like a house of cards. If you thought that loss to Dallas was rough, wait till you hear the full story. Stick around till the end, because this is exclusive stuff. You gotta know exactly what's going on with your team. Don't go anywhere. When there were 11 minutes and 53 seconds left in the third quarter against the Cowboys, every Commanders fan's heart sank. Jaden Daniels, our star quarterback, the one who took us all the way to the NFC Championship last season, went down after a sack, and this time, he didn't pop back up like usual. You could see it on his face. Something wasn't right. At all. That hamstring injury is no joke. On Monday, he had an MRI done, and according to Adam Schefter, the most reliable insider in the league, his chances of playing next Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs are slim to none. Schefter even said it'd be a surprise if he suits up. Let that sink in for a minute. What's really concerning is that Schefter compared it to Lamar Jackson's old hamstring injury, the one that kept him out for 2 full weeks. 2 whole weeks! And look at the Commanders' upcoming schedule. First the Chiefs, then the Seahawks, and after that the Lions. That's the most brutal stretch of our season. Losing Daniels now could be catastrophic. Before he got hurt, Daniels had completed 12 of 22 passes for 156 yards and a touchdown, no picks. He also led the team in rushing yards with 35 and another score. He was doing what he always does, keeping this offense alive with both his arm and his legs. And just like that, everything flipped. What makes it even more frustrating? This isn't his first injury this season. He already missed 2 games earlier with a knee sprain. So you gotta ask yourself, how much punishment can a quarterback take before the body says enough? Through just 5 games, Daniels had already thrown for a little over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Those are straight up MVP numbers. But now, as we enter the toughest stretch of the season, he's out. And the nightmare doesn't stop there. On top of that, we're already missing 3 top receivers: Terry McLaurin, quad; Deebo Samuel, heel; and Noah Brown, groin. Add that to Austin Eckler's season-ending Achilles tear from week 2, and it's like we're cursed. This isn't just bad luck, it's an injury epidemic tearing this season apart before it even gets going. When Daniels went down, Marcus Mariota came in. Now, Mariota's a solid vet, been around the league, but he ain't Daniels. He went 4 for 10 for 63 yards and tossed a pick 6 that iced the game for Dallas. That's when we knew it was over. The final score? Cowboys 44, Commanders 22. An absolute beatdown. After the game, Coach Dan Quinn said Daniels actually wanted back in. That's what's special about him. The heart, the drive, the fight. But Quinn made it clear, injuries weren't the main reason we lost. He said it himself. Turnovers, penalties, missed tackles, dropped passes. Dallas beat us, and we beat ourselves. He's right, partly. We did hurt ourselves. But it's also true that when your star QB, your top 3 receivers, and your lead running back are all out, things get exponentially harder. Now let me ask you, how are we supposed to compete against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs without Jaden Daniels? How do we stop that KC offense when our defense is already hanging by a thread? And what happens if Daniels misses the Seattle or Detroit games too? We went into this season expecting big things after last year's NFC Championship run. We thought we were built to compete for the division. Now, with all these injuries piling up, we're sitting at 3 wins and 4 losses midway through. Not exactly how we pictured it, and it's not getting easier. On October 28th, we head into Arrowhead for Monday Night Football. Nationwide audience, bright lights, and most likely no Daniels. This stretch is a make-or-break moment for Dan Quinn and GM Adam Peters. If they can keep this ship afloat, great. If not, this season could sink fast. And Commanders fans, we've lived through enough heartbreak already. But you know what? I still believe this team's got the fight. And when Jaden Daniels comes back, and they say he will, we'll remember why this squad made it so far last year. But first, we've got to survive this storm without him. While Daniels is battling injuries, there's another problem brewing, and this one's worth $18 million a year. Let's talk about Marshon Lattimore. And believe me, this conversation isn't going to be pleasant for any of us. Because what's happening with Lattimore is an absolute disaster. And there's no other way to put it. When Adam Peters made the trade to bring Lattimore to Washington, we all thought we had landed a key piece for our defense. A 4-time Pro Bowl cornerback. A guy who had been one of the most dominant cornerbacks in the league for years. We thought we were going to get a closer at corner, someone who could shut down the opposing team's best receiver week after week. That's what we thought, but the reality has been completely different. Completely opposite to what we expected. And now we're stuck with an $18 million problem. We don't know how to solve. Lattimore has gone from one of the league's most accomplished cornerbacks to a complete liability. And I'm not exaggerating. Teams are actively targeting him as a weak link. And it's working. He's struggling to keep up with receivers. He's also a walking defensive pass interference call waiting to happen. And it's not going unnoticed by opposing offenses as part of their game planning for the Commanders. That's a terrible combination. And Lattimore's most glaring failings were evident during Washington's capitulation to the Dallas Cowboys. He could be a scapegoat compared to the larger collective problem. Still, this simply can't continue much longer. Let me give you some specific examples of what happened in that game against Dallas. Lattimore gave up multiple big plays through the air. He committed a couple of costly penalties. Dak Prescott seemed to be targeting him every chance he got. Both George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb were beating him on routes. But Pickens had a field day against him. The big receiver beat Lattimore on a couple of contested catches. Now I ask you, how is it possible that a 4-time Pro Bowl cornerback, a guy who has been one of the best at his position for years, suddenly looks so lost out there? What happened? Is it age? Is it the system? Is it a lack of motivation? Or does he simply no longer have what it takes to compete at the highest level? I think it's a combination of everything. I think Lattimore has lost a step. I think he doesn't fit well into Dan Quinn's defensive scheme. And I think when a player starts to doubt himself, when he starts seeing receivers beating him over and over again, it affects his confidence. And once you lose your confidence as a cornerback in the NFL, it's very hard to get it back. Peters took a risk. He felt the Commanders were in a position to compete, and he felt Lattimore would bring them closer. It was clearly a swing and a miss. So eliminating the feeling and admitting defeat should be considered. Now, what options do the Commanders have? They could potentially trade Lattimore, but whether any suitable interest will come is anyone's guess. Probably the most likely scenario would be to let things play out over the remainder of 2025. If things don't improve, then Washington can let him walk with $18.5 million in savings and no dead money attached next spring. Let me repeat that because it's important. $18.5 million in savings and no dead money. That means the Commanders could cut him after this season without any salary cap penalties. That's huge. That would give them room to bring in other players to improve this defense in different ways. But here's the problem. Keeping Lattimore in the lineup might be a necessary evil right now. Trey Amos and Mike St. Ristel are playing well, but options beyond that are scarce. This was supposed to be the team's greatest strength, and it's been exposed as a weakness without any legitimate help from the safety unit. Quinn said personnel changes are coming, so it will be an anxious wait to see if the Ohio State product falls victim to the inevitable and desirable alterations that are on the way. Before Monday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 8. I'll tell you this. It takes a massive effort from Lattimore to turn things around. He needs to prove he can still play at a high level. He needs to prove the trade Peters made wasn't a complete mistake. Because if he can't do that, if he keeps getting attacked week after week, then the Commanders have no choice but to make a change. And here's the truly frustrating part of all this. While Lattimore is struggling, there's a rookie on this team who's proving he can play. A second-round rookie who's stealing the show. And that brings us to our third piece of news. And just when you thought we were done, here comes the really interesting part. Because while an $18 million veteran is collapsing, a rookie is emerging as the answer no one saw coming. In the middle of all this chaos, Amos is the silver lining. The second-round rookie corner is already showing he might be the best defensive back on this squad. Through 7 weeks, he's playing like our #1 corner. Not Lattimore, not St. Ristel, Trey Amos. Even in that blowout against Dallas, when the team gave up over 400 yards of total offense, Amos held his own. Aside from one ridiculous sideline catch by Pickens, the rookie stuck tight on coverage all game, forcing Prescott to look elsewhere. Against a duo like Pickens and Lamb, that's impressive, especially for a rookie. Compare that to Lattimore getting cooked on the other side. And the difference is night and day. A second-round pick is outperforming a veteran making $18 million a year. That's the definition of upside. According to Pro Football Focus, Amos has allowed completions on only about 59% of throws his way, elite for a first-year corner. Peters deserves major credit for finding this kid. Not every GM hits on second-rounders, but this one might be a gem that holds down the corner spot for the next decade. The only concern now? Amos tweaked something late in that game and came off the field. Hopefully it's minor, because we badly need him with Daniels out and the defense reeling dot at 3 and 4, our playoff hopes are slipping. The QB is hurt, the defense looks exhausted, and now our brightest young player might be banged up too. If Amos misses time, that could be the final blow. Still, I have faith. Guys like Trey Amos are the future, the kind of players who can pull this franchise out of the hole. Young, hungry, fearless. The Commanders' defense is fading fast, but Amos is proving there's still hope. Peters can spot real talent, and that might just save us yet. Now Quinn's got some major decisions to make. Does he keep running Lattimore out there, or hand the reins to the rookie? Can he fix this defense while our star QB's sidelined? Here's what I think. If Quinn is as sharp as we believe, he'll double down on Trey Amos. Build around him. Let the kid learn through fire. Because what he's showing isn't luck. It's legit. Can the Commanders survive this brutal midseason stretch? Can they stay in the playoff race without Jaden Daniels? Those are the questions hanging over us. And honestly, no one knows the answer yet. What we do know is this. Trey Amos is quietly snatching that CB1 spot while the team's playoff dreams hang by a thread. And sometimes, that's how heroes are born out of chaos, out of nowhere. Sometimes a second-round rookie is exactly what you need to spark a turnaround. Commanders Nation, that's where we stand. Jaden Daniels injured. Marshon Lattimore playing like an $8 million mistake. And Trey Amos showing out just when we need him most. Now it's your turn. Can the Commanders hang on without Daniels? Should they move on from Lattimore after this season? Is Trey Amos the future of this defense? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear from you. Because this fan base, this family, rides together no matter what. Through the pain, through the rebuild, through it all. If this breakdown gave you something to think about, hit that like button. If you think Lattimore's gotta go, hit that like button. If you believe Trey Amos is the future, hit subscribe. Because on this channel, we bleed burgundy and gold. We don't quit on our team. Ever. I'll keep bringing you the latest news, the deepest analysis, and the raw truth about our Washington Commanders. We'll be back tomorrow with more updates, more breakdowns, more of everything you need to stay plugged in. So make sure you're subscribed, notifications on, and remember, hail to the Redskins.